I paid our orphaned cleaning lady to pretend to be my girlfriend for the evening so that my millionaire father would calm down. But when the poor girl went to take a shower, be me watching the story of a wealthy family unfold. Successful businessman Harrison Wellington has only one son. Son's name is Wesley. Everyone calls him Wes. Kid is 25 and has zero interest in managing his own life. Harrison tries his best to shape Wes into worthy heir. Family business is huge. They manufacture habitat modules for future Mars colonizers. Pretty cutting-edge stuff. Story of the name is interesting. Wesley was named by his late mother, Eleanor. Name means from the Western Meadow. Harrison absolutely adored Eleanor for this thoughtful choice. She was the only one who could make him break his own rules. Let her do whatever she thought was right. But then tragedy struck. Eleanor's health suddenly started failing. She lost interest in everything. Mars modules, her son's progress, everything just faded away. Finally passed away peacefully in a Swiss clinic. Harrison took the loss hard. Spent a whole year diving into conspiracy theories. Got obsessed with question of inheritance. Kept thinking Wesley was the only worthy heir. Problem was, Wesley never really knew his mother. Didn't get chance to understand her when she was alive and well. Father was just scary to him. By 25, Wesley hit peak of intellectual capacity. Still couldn't grasp basic principles of corporation management. To him, company was like uncontrollable monster. Scared him more than his father did. Couldn't even imagine himself in charge. Not even in wildest dreams. Wesley knew nothing about real life. World beyond Manhattan Towers, beyond countless Dubai hotels, beyond luxury villas in Monaco, guessed such life existed somewhere out there. New fake smiles of staff members hid something. Marketing clerks, secretaries, security guards, drivers. All of them hiding some terrible secret from him. Inheritance question becomes particularly painful. Unfulfilled hopes start piling up. Destroyed destinies weigh heavily. Then Harrison gets hit with unthinkable suspicion. Can barely put it into words at first. Starts watching his son with special attention. Develops this peculiar calculating look. Kind that shows unstoppable curiosity. Finally pieces it together in his mind. Harrison suspects Wesley might be gay. That's the plain truth of it. Can't do anything about it. Thought gets stuck in his brain like a splinter. Impossible to remove even surgically. Wesley can't figure out what his father wants from him. Harrison keeps walking in circles during conversations. Suddenly starts talking about wanting grandchildren. Mentions wanting elaborate wedding ceremony. Says he never had one himself. Wesley thinks it's just small talk. Assumes it's leading up to something bigger. Takes several more awkward conversations. Finally hits Wesley like a ton of bricks. That's what it's all about. Father just wants to make sure his heir's orientation is correct. That's the real issue here. Wesley has no idea what put these doubts in his father's head. Never made his personal life public. Actually proud of that fact. His approach to relationships with women is different. Very different from other wealthy heirs he knows. Always gentle and delicate with opposite sex. Shows restraint in relationships. Makes clean breaks when needed. Painless for both sides. When Wesley finally gets his father's message, first time he's truly angry at him. Can't believe father suspects such thing. Always thought his father was above such basic suspicions. Thought dad's mind was busy with cosmic ventures. Searching for Mars colonization spots. Instead, he's thinking about this nonsense. Wesley wants to make some kind of joke. Something to calm the old man down. Maybe tease him a little. Decides to make him nervous about meeting new girlfriend. Plans to pick someone from lower social class. Figures even brief interaction would make father uncomfortable. Hopes it will wipe that calculating look off his face. Wesley opens cleaning staff position in his department. Volunteers to handle candidate selection himself. That's how this whole story begins. Nobody could have predicted what happens next. Enter Autumn. Girl's been through rough times. Bounced between 4 different orphanages. Had 3 different foster families. Finally turned 18. Has to figure out life on her own now. State gives her tiny apartment. Located in roughest part of town. After all the pain she's been through. Strange twist of fate awaits her. First priority is finding work. No more orphan benefits to rely on. Already tried working at warehouse. Lasted exactly 1 week before quitting. Then tried supermarket checkout job. Didn't even make it 2 full days there. Uses last bit of savings to buy cheapest laptop she can find. Spends hours searching internet for suitable jobs. Dedicates full 10 days to job hunt. Sending emails, making phone calls, filling out endless questionnaires. Nothing works out. Everything feels doomed to fail. Can see pattern forming. Knows she'll end up running from new workplace again. Not because her character is bad, not because her expectations are too high. Simply tired of people always demanding irrelevant things. If job requires smiling at customers, she does it with full responsibility. If needs to handle checkout efficiently, gets perfect results. No one can accuse her of being negligent. Can't call her unintelligent either. Problem is different. Her duties always somehow expand beyond official description. That's what drives her crazy. Starts arguing about it. Gets stubborn about principles. Actually has iron nerves. Blessed with great memory. Can grasp new concepts instantly. Naturally finds connections between seemingly unrelated things. Nobody could change these traits. That's why I kept moving between orphanages. Maybe something wrong with her. Maybe others are different. Autumn often thinks about this. Despite everything, her heart remains big. Stays kind, open to everything real and genuine. Not interested in fake things. When last of saved money starts disappearing. When emergency funds hit zero, makes one final attempt at job hunting. Decides to try cleaning position. Jobs at fancy business center. Used to cleaning bathrooms. But not used to salary having 5 zeros. Makes phone call. Answers few basic questions. Surprisingly gets invited to interview. Not just any interview. Meeting with director himself. Haven't changed much since leaving last foster home. Has only one business suit. Looks ridiculous in it. Keeps wondering why director wants personal interview. Didn't apply for secretary position after all. No trouble finding right office in business center. Checks time before knocking. Hand hovers over door. Finally knocks and opens it. Clock shows exactly 3:06 p.m. Gets greeted by handsome young man. He's standing by huge window. Has cigarette between his elegant fingers. Fingers look almost aristocratic. Slightly dusted with tobacco stains. He's gazing out at cityscape. Barely turns around when Autumn enters. Gives her sweetest smile imaginable. Gestures toward chair near glass table. Table has minimal items on it. Just intercom and laptop. Autumn half expects to find typical office setup. Kind where stern secretary sits, ready to announce visitors to boss. But nothing like that here. Just empty minimalist space. Girl sits down carefully. Places purse on her knees. Young man speaks with soft, calm voice. Tea, coffee? Unlike what she expected from director type. Autumn feels slightly embarrassed. Thank you, she replies quietly. I'm here about cleaning position. Scheduled for 3 p.m. Young man smiles again. Got it, he says smoothly. So about that coffee? No, thank you, I'm fine, Autumn responds. If you'll excuse me, young man says politely. Puts out cigarette and crystal ashtray. Presses intercom button. Angela, could I get coffee, please? In my office. Black, comes through speaker. Yes, black, thank you, he confirms. Turns attention back to Autumn. Studies her carefully from head to toe. Glass table allows complete view. I'm Wesley Wellington, he introduces himself. Head of this department. And you are? Autumn, she answers. Autumn Rivers. Interesting surname, Wesley notices. Like wind and water combined. Any connection to famous people? Sorry, no, she responds. Though who knows? Don't know much about my family history. Interesting coincidence then, Wesley grins. You should watch more movies. No, I prefer detective stories myself. Wesley's smile fades slightly. I'm from orphanage, Autumn adds suddenly. Don't really know who my parents were. Wesley's eyebrows shoot up in surprise. Moves away from table back to window. Wesley asks about criminal record. Autumn frowns at strange question. Internal debate visible on her face. If he knows she's orphan, why assume she has record? Tries to pull herself together. Clearly not doing great job at hiding confusion. No record, she says firmly. Thought security would have told you already. Wesley turns sharply, looks at her carefully again. Can't help but notice she's both shy and direct. Mentally kicks himself. Why jump on poor girl about criminal records, especially about overseas ones? Not like he's developed unhealthy interest in secret documents. Finally walks to table. Sits down across from Autumn. Haven't had time to review all documents yet, he admits. Your only candidate here today. He's lying, of course. Position has been open 3 days. She's first person he personally selected. First one to get past HR department. Until now, this fact hadn't bothered him. Suddenly realizes what seems odd. High-paying cleaning position. Access to restricted areas. Way job posting was written. Looks like setup. Like they're looking for someone to pin something on. 1 second, young man says. Turns on laptop. Goes to job listing site. Immediately deletes advertisement. Stares intently at Autumn. Does salary make you uncomfortable? Think it's too much for position? Autumn lowers eyes. Can't find right words. Decides to tell truth for some reason. No, title of department confused me more. Had to figure out what venture capital meant. Had to understand investment terms first. Wesley looks thoughtful. So you... Autumn already convinced she's failed interview. Showed complete incompetence about everything. Why even mention venture capital thing? If only she knew Wesley felt equally awkward. Unlike her, he's just better at hiding it. Better at pretending everything's normal. When inside, he's questioning everything. Actually likes her. Likes her dignity. Likes that she looks presentable. Could avoid embarrassing him in public. With right clothes and styling. Could even impress people. Face as pretty as any of his ex-girlfriends. The ones his friends always envied. But there's something else about this girl. Wesley can't quite figure it out. Heart does weird little jump when he first saw her. Started beating even faster when she mentioned not knowing her parents. Impressed how well she carries herself. Despite coming from such different world, secretary enters office, moves with practiced elegance, hips swaying gracefully, places steaming cup of black coffee on desk. Your father asked to see you when you're free, she says quietly. Thank you, Wesley acknowledges, deliberately looks away from Angela, watches her elegant exit, lights another cigarette, takes small sip from delicate coffee cup, leans back in chair. I have your contact information, he states. We'll definitely call you, Autumn. Wesley has already made up his mind. Knows exactly what he wants to do. Pauses for dramatic effect. Can we wrap this up? Autumn asks shyly. Looks like she has somewhere to be. I'll make final decision tomorrow, Wesley replies. We'll wait for your call. All right, Autumn concludes. Tries not to mimic Angela's graceful exit. Makes no unnecessary movements. Leaves office quietly. Closes door behind her. Immediately presses herself against wall outside. Takes deep breath. Exhales slowly. Head spinning with fragments of conversation. Cigarette smoke still clouding her vision. Not quite sure why she's so worried. Seen plenty of offices in her life. Had many conversations with people in power. People her life depended on. Something else bothers her more. More than importance of situation. More than strangeness of questions and answers. Feels premonition of something new. Something that has nothing to do with cleaning offices. Why would she suddenly feel this way? Tries to chase premonition away. Forces herself back to reality. Meanwhile, Wesley heads to father's house, as requested by Angela. Secretary sits in reception area, right in front of father's office. Same secretary who just brought Wesley coffee. Wesley has part-time plan now. Has foundation in form of Autumn. Can finally execute his scheme. Ready to convince father of terrible mistake. Plans to address everything directly. Wesley starts conversation immediately. Dad, we're going to have serious meeting here. Business-related, Americans coming. About your soul, I mean, Wesley adds. Harrison looks surprised. Wesley about to light another cigarette. Father stops him with gesture. You'll quit someday, right? Promised last year. I will quit, Dad, Wesley says. Puts cigarette pack back in pocket. Nerves are getting to me now. You're the one with nerves? Father grins. Why so tense? Yes, Wesley tries to be mysterious. While we're on subject, come on, son. Tell me what's on your mind. We've got time. Your nerves. So what about my soul? Yeah, no. We'll talk about soul later. What's there to discuss anyway? That calculating look finally disappears from Harrison's face. What bride? Why don't we know anything about this? Come on, what's happening with her? Nothing concrete yet. Had small argument, but it's serious. Father gets excited. Never heard you call anyone fiancé before. Wesley reaches for cigarette again. Harrison automatically stops him with gesture. I'm happy for you, he says almost cheerfully. Americans arrive in 8 days. Bring your fiancé to party. You'll introduce me to her. But don't get too comfortable. This visit is more serious than usual. Want to invest in interesting technology? Your kind of money involved. This time big funds go through different channels. You know what I mean. 8 days, Father emphasizes. You've got deadline for that. Not my place to tell you, but girl's name is Autumn. Good name. Hope everything else matches. That's up to you to figure out. You live and learn. Want to see her? Won't criticize, promise. Don't worry, I'll do my best. Harrison takes thick folder with papers, hands it to Wesley. Technology they want to invest in. Very interesting stuff. Okay, sure, Dad. Wesley takes folder. That's all then. Who else knows about your fiancé? Just you and me. Wesley nods. Well, Harrison considers. Would be unpleasant to learn about it not from you. You know I won't spy on you. But don't take advantage of my kindness. I might be gentle, but you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. Next day brings 2 major events in Autumn's life. Like news headlines, completely contradicting each other. One good, one bad, almost mutually exclusive. Good news comes first. Director of Venture Capital calls her. Offers to start work next day. Position in Manhattan Empire. Just needs to pass required medical examination. Bad news arrives same day. Comes in form of court summons. Autumn goes to courthouse immediately. Learns devastating news. Last foster family messed up badly. All paperwork for her apartment. Completely botched. Goes to work in depressed state. Gets brief instructions in security office. Office manager explains strict routes. Must follow them scrupulously. No distractions allowed. Can't distract others either. Hands her basic cleaning supplies. Gives her company uniform. Then disappears completely. Never sees him again. Doesn't see Wesley in office either. Not that first day. Not in his office. Not in hallways. Strange feeling overtakes her. Like they've forgotten about management. Finds herself with no direct supervision. No one overstepping boundaries. No coworkers to build rapport with. No one to find common language with. Neighboring wing has different crowd, occasionally spots unfriendly faces. Sees cleaning company Sparkle staff. They're hired to clean other offices. Read name tags as they pass. Then court trial happens. As indifferent as everything else lately, judge's verdict pushes Autumn to despair. Has to leave her apartment. Must move to communal housing. Middle of town's worst district. Right wall neighbors are drunk couple. Fight 24/7 without stopping. Left wall neighbor just got out of prison. Not young man anymore. Did 5 years for assaulting student. Now Autumn sobs bitterly. Walking home from work, back to her tiny hole. Barely 2 by 3 meters. Black mold growing in corners. Afraid to sit in bathroom too long. Knows ex-convict has already marked her. Chosen her as new target. Everything in life seems to move backwards. On fourth day, interesting moment happens. Autumn enters Wesley's office. Bucket and mop in hand. Comes to clean. "Hello," she says softly. Sniffles slightly. "Hi," Wesley answers. Looks at her with interest. These 3 days changed her. Lost noticeable weight. Facial features sharper now. Almost painfully so. Her jade green eyes grown larger. Constantly glistening. Like tears could fall any second. "Somehow you don't look well." "Sorry, of course you're good." Wesley can't let her get sick. Not at this crucial time. Sudden switch to informal speech doesn't bother Autumn. Actually feels warm inside. First person in a long time to ask about her well-being. "And so it happens," Autumn says quietly. Wesley asks if everything's okay. Answers with forced confidence. "A lot of things can go wrong on path to goal. Important thing is keep moving forward. 1 step forward better than 2 steps back." Wesley's words sound a bit pretentious, but Autumn understands meaning perfectly. For a moment tries to apply it to herself. Tries to find her own goal. Figure out if she's moving right direction. Realizes she has no particular purpose. Time just moving backwards. Taking her back to pointless wandering. Back to life she thought she escaped. "What do you do when there's wall ahead? One you can't get around?" she asks suddenly. Wesley's eyes light up. Reaches for cigarette. Gets up from desk. Been studying documents there before. "No such thing as wall," he says confidently. "Every wall has door. Every locked door has key." Autumn puts on cleaning gloves. Leans against mop handle. "Could you imagine," Wesley continues, "that one day you'd find yourself opening dozens of doors in Manhattan towers?" "Couldn't," Autumn replies quietly. "For many, it's impregnable fortress. At best, they can buy tourist tickets. Walk designated paths. Call it glass maze. Yet you have universal key. Opens all secret offices. Wasn't my purpose, though," girl objects. "Just coincidence of circumstances. Not without your help, which I'm very grateful for." "Drop it," Wesley waves hand dismissively. "By the way, about keys, I have apartment on 43rd floor. Wonder if you could clean it too, at least once every 3 days. Extra payment, of course. I'll give you another key." Autumn thinks about Wesley's offer. Reminds her of one former foster parent. Immediately dismisses thought. He doesn't look like predatory type. "I don't mind," she agrees. Convenient timing, though. Never there until 8 p.m. So anytime before 8 works? Here you go. Wesley hands her 2 plastic cards. Second one isn't key. It's payment card for any services. All employees get up to $100 daily allowance. For services and purchases. Autumn studies card carefully. Really has her name on it. Autumn Rivers printed in gold letters. Strange bonus multiplied by 30 days. Wow, this can't be real. It's not just job. It's like fantasy land. Must be completely clueless about life. Or they took something major from her at orphanage. But when door an impenetrable wall opens by itself, maybe shouldn't act stubborn. Just walk through. Something confuses you? Wesley asks carefully. Studies girl's reaction. Really, yes? You can back out any time. What exactly bothers you? Wesley puts out cigarette. Everyone gets these cards. Prices for services are very flexible. Same for goods. You know what percentage vendors make on these cards? They're fighting to open shops here. Don't worry about it. Are hostel services included? Autumn asks suddenly. Remember seeing temporary rooms, several floors above 42nd, while studying office layout. Any services, Wesley clarifies. Having roommate problems? I'll set you up in 47. Not bad capsule rooms. Rooms for 2, but neighbors won't be issue. Just common area shared. View's pretty good. You'll have room to yourself. It's expensive, Autumn protests. No, not on card. Sometimes provide rooms. Employee accommodation at company expense. Thank you, says Autumn, feeling guilty about excessive bonuses. No matter how much tries to convince herself it's normal. Wesley lies twice in this moment. First lie, no employees ever got such cards, let alone free housing. Second lie, What cleaning service in apartments? All such services handled by Sparkle Company, from carpet cleaning to window washing. Operation with special card and apartment access. Wesley himself doesn't know how to make decent offer to unsuspecting future fiancé, but everything working out perfectly on its own. Time melting away fast. Only 4 days left before party. Wesley's only hope lies with Autumn. Hopes she'll use the card. Get taste of luxury life. By time deadline comes, all he'll need to do is ask one last favor. Play role of girlfriend. Impress Harrison Wellington. Plan is definitely insidious. Cruel even. Autumn will have unpleasant experience. Maybe even end up disappointed in people forever. But reward could be substantial. With right attitude on her part. Could walk away from these walls not poor. Might get glimpse of life that exists. Beyond windows of Manhattan towers. Spirit of adventure waiting. Where else would Autumn experience? Fireworks of new sensations. Touch higher society, even briefly. If only she's sensible. Doesn't turn down opportunity. On 5th day, Autumn makes move. Relocates modest belongings to double room in hostel. Only brings few clothes. And cheap laptop she bought. Needs internet access primarily. Wants to research more details about Wesley. Likes him more and more. Tries to keep such thoughts away. Image of young director increasingly captures her heart. Mainly wants to check if Wesley has fiancé. Can't find any pictures. No photo models next to him. No beauties with enhanced features. Only finds pictures with father, who turns out to be owner of whole firm. Very wealthy man. Absence of glamorous girls pleases her, though raises some suspicion. Presence of millionaire father upsets her. Realizes no chance of getting close to Wesley, not even for one night. No fairy tale prince with crystal slipper coming to rescue her. Autumn sighs heavily, sits on sofa in lounge area, looks out window at night city, sees garlands of distant avenues, piece of Hudson River peeking through. Between neighboring skyscrapers, watches flashing red lights, planes passing overhead, sighs again, smiles involuntarily, not sure what she's smiling about. Something hiding deep in soul, ready to burst out, flood of rapid, unstoppable events approaching. On 6th day, finishes cleaning offices, heads to Wesley's apartment. He's not there, just as promised. Fears surveillance cameras somewhere. Concentrates on scrubbing floors. Vacuums colorful carpet patches. Tries to catch glimpses of his life. Through corner of eye, no peculiarities appear. Just ordinary luxury apartment, almost hotel-like. Nothing revealing about owner. Finds interesting bathroom, though. Shower stall looks like spaceship compartment. Has control panel. Mysterious faucets everywhere. Burning desire overcomes her. Wants to push all buttons. Could use good shower, too. Communal bathroom always occupied. Hostel shower eternally busy. Still has time until 8 o'clock. Autumn gives in to temptation. Climbs into cabin. Convinces herself no cameras in bathroom. No one will notice. Figures out controls quickly. Gets score of 2. Particularly enjoys sound of flowing water. Speakers produce clear sound. Deep bass fills space. Like gift for her courage. Her favorite Sting song plays. Reminds her of childhood. Dreams of being powerful. Finding someone to teach her how to overcome evil. Punish all sorts of scoundrels. Turns up volume. Dances with closed eyes. Standing ankle deep. Water bubbling with multicolored foam. Suddenly cabin door opens. Stunned face of Harrison Wellington appears. Autumn tries covering herself with one hand. Other hand frantically pressing buttons, trying to mute sound. Instead activates hydromassage. Water jets hit Harrison directly. He waves arms trying to dodge. Finally finds words. Shouts apology. Sorry, thought it was Wesley. Quickly closes cabin door. Harrison exits bathroom, rubbing his graying temples. Assessing water damage to suit. Not too severe, actually. Worth what he just witnessed. Did you see the bride? He mutters to himself. Isn't she perfect? Well done, Wes. Well done, son. Must wait and apologize properly. Needed paperwork urgently. Documents Wesley took home. Couldn't reach him by phone. Couldn't find papers in own apartment. Situation more interesting than boring now. Meanwhile, Autumn frantically getting dressed. Mind racing with thoughts. Oh God, what will I say to him? Definitely recognized Harrison Wellington. Seen him often in photos she researched. Wonders if any excuse exists. That wouldn't sound completely insane. Pulling on uniform realizes this outfit makes excuses pointless. No explanation worth attempting. Could just silently leave. Hand in keys and card at reception. Never show face in Manhattan Towers again. Or could pretend to be Wesley's girlfriend. That explanation might satisfy Harrison. Easier to talk to Wesley about it later. He should understand her innocent prank. Though he acts aloof, she feels he sympathizes with her. Feels it with whole being. Girl throws off uniform. Wraps herself in plush robe. Walks out bathroom like that. I'm so terribly sorry. Harrison hadn't expected anyone. Wesley never invites friends here. It's okay, Autumn tries, sounding confident. That's right, you're Autumn? Seems that's your name? Didn't Wesley tell you about me? Girl feigns surprise. His fiancée, after all. Don't tell him we've met. He wanted to introduce us properly at tomorrow's party. Let's pretend we don't know each other. Bride, Harrison interjects. Autumn's surprise is multiplying. No need to play girlfriend role. Harrison convinced himself. Not asking questions anymore. Weird how it makes no sense. Yeah, sorry for rushing things. Harrison continues. You two sorted out yourselves. He mentioned you had disagreement. Glad you've reconciled, apparently. Know where he disappeared to? Need one document. No, don't know, she responds softly. Just got here recently. Had time for shower. I'll call again, Harrison mutters. Takes out phone. Dials number. Phone rings on shelf next to TV. What an idiot, man swears. Left phone at home. Didn't introduce myself properly. I'm the father of this troublemaker. Harrison Wellington. Very pleased to meet you. Autumn extends still warm hand from shower. Gives him bright smile. I'm Autumn Rivers. The bride, as you put it. Hope Wesley meant me and not someone else. Harrison grins warmly. Hope to see you at tomorrow's party too. It really was you, he adds. Well, need to go now. Lot to take care of. If Wesley shows up, tell him to call me immediately. Better yet, bring papers to my house. But our meeting never happened, he winks. Does it very naturally, makes Autumn feel for a moment, like she really belongs in this apartment. All right, she answers with smile. Harrison leaves. Autumn rushes to her room on 47th floor. Only there can finally process what happened. But what's there to process? Realizes Wesley must have real fiancée, one his father hasn't met yet. Her name happens to be Autumn. Such coincidence can't help but confuse her. Girl feels something else behind all this. Something directly involving her. Wesley's excessive concern raised questions from start. Hard to believe entire staff treated this way. Needs to test theory. Heads to beauty salon. From experience in hair salons. Knows these places attract all sorts. People who love chatting during appointments. Can learn lots of interesting things. Things you'd never find on internet. First stops at styling chair. Orders haircut of choice. Stylist is young guy named Jason. Has characteristic salon manners. Fidgety, dramatic, talkative. Time approaching 9 p.m. Maybe why no other customers besides Autumn. Guy circles around girl, squinting thoughtfully. Imagining different styles. Lifts strands of her long blonde hair. Pixie cut would suit you perfectly. Emphasize your beautiful neck. Without realizing what kind of cut suggested, Autumn and Jason reach agreement. He starts work with scissors. As skilled with tongue as with shears. Within 10 minutes gives perfect opening. For question, Autumn trying to ask. Jason complains about business lately. Getting swarms of clients during fitness nights. First person since 6 p.m. for haircut. Just manicurists sitting there bored. Business is terrible, he sighs. Not enough clients. Office hours finished. Autumn supports conversation. What kind of client comes at this hour? Many just starting to wake up. At least a year ago after pandemic. We worked overtime until 10 p.m. Barely had time for appointments. Now close at 9. Often empty 2-3 hours an evening. Even local staff don't come. What kind of rewards cards? Jason freezes mid-snip. Looks at Autumn in mirror. Obviously wondering about something. They don't issue cards for all services. Within Empire Building, I have one like this. Jason flicks scissors through air. Makes circular motion like movie pirate. Hovers again thoughtfully. Something clicks in his mind. First time hearing about such thing. Should check with accounting. Maybe I'm missing something. We have vouchers, but that's different. Which department are you from? I'm from Venture Capital, Autumn says. Adds carefully. Manager at Wesley Wellington's. Know him as client. They're always inventing things. But reward cards bit beyond their league. Autumn processes information. Now sees clearly. No cards exist in reality. All Wesley's fantasy. But why? 20 minutes later. Haircut finished. Card payment successful. Autumn learned everything needed. Appears Wesley planning to involve her in some kind of personal game. Rules still unexplained. When's he going to tell her? If she's supposed to be bride. Party's tomorrow. Why hasn't he said anything? What excuse will he give for such strange party invitation? She's back to being puppet. Someone else pulling strings. Like always in her life. Someone wanting to make her obedient doll. Make money from her. Realize their unrealized dreams through her. Or just satisfy parental instincts. Autumn makes firm decision. Never letting anyone use her again. She'll play by own rules. Use her own keys to all doors. Time to use card to fullest. At same salon gets manicure and pedicure. Then hits luxury boutiques. Buys gorgeous crimson dress. Gets designer shoes with high heels. Picks delicate necklace with emerald-like stones. Perfectly matches green of her eyes. Dines at most expensive restaurant and building. Goes to late movie showing. Satisfied, no limit found on card yet. Returns to room feeling accomplished. Sleeps soundly and sweetly. Even arrives half-hour late to work next morning. No one pays attention to tardiness. Feels like queen of situation. Tonight, after finishing offices and bathrooms, runs through salons and stores again. Only one thing left to verify. Final check needed. Party happening tomorrow. Wesley still hasn't mentioned it. Hasn't seen him anywhere today? Visited his office 5 times. Different hours each time. Did she make mistake? In just 24 hours, Autumn, so into being bride for evening, doesn't want to deprive herself of pleasure of character transformation. Week ago would have resisted completely. Now takes space shower in Wesley's apartment daily, without shame. Even dreams of him catching her in shower stall. Getting cocky now. Doesn't want to think about consequences. Just enjoying good fortune for once. Returns with 2 huge shopping bags. Changes into new clothes. Runs into lounge area. None of neighbors present. Takes plastic key to Wesley's apartment. Puts it in microwave with glass of water. Waits exactly 1 minute. Takes it out under astonished stares. 2 guys watching her curiously. Heads off to confront Beast in its lair when it's not expecting visitors. Right before Wesley's apartment door. Suddenly, old Autumn returns. Insecure and always expecting painful catch. Hesitates for a moment. Only manages to knock on 3rd attempt. Wesley opens door. Freezes in doorway. Trying to process who's standing before him. "Hi," says Autumn. Only then Wesley snaps out of trance. Whole gallery of emotions crosses his face. Settles on silly smile. "Autumn, I'm shocked. Don't recognize you." "Hello, what are you doing here?" "Key doesn't work." Autumn shows plastic rectangle. "Come in," Wesley offers. Lets girl enter. Closes door behind her. "Where are you dressed up like that? What's the occasion?" "If it's not secret, that's why I'm here. Having girlfriend's wedding tomorrow? Would like to leave early after 2 p.m. But apartment key doesn't work." Switches to familiar tone without noticing. Now sees herself as situation's master. Subconsciously feels like Wesley's equal, even if briefly. Wesley doesn't seem to notice change, or quickly manages to hide reaction. "Tomorrow?" he interrogates, panic creeping into voice. "Yeah, sorry couldn't warn you sooner. Just found out myself. Was going to ask you something important too." That's unfortunate. Autumn thinks she was right. Intuition didn't fail her. "Go on then." Dying to hear what you'll come up with. Wesley drops pretense, decides to lay out whole plan. Would have done it bit later, by visiting girl's room, but she beat him to it. "Dad suspects me of having unconventional orientation, so to speak." Starts explaining awkwardly. Already found right girl for part, but at last minute she backed out. Then remembered you. Wanted to. "Anyway, can you help me out?" "Not for free, of course. Just one little evening. No time to think of anything else." "There are escort services for that," Autumn says pointedly. "I beg you." Wesley's eyes rise to ceiling. "My dad would figure me out in second. Escorts all have same face. Trivial set of qualities. Once he figures me out, he'll be even more convinced of suspicions." "Is it so critical?" Autumn asks carefully. Wesley looks at her with surprise. Apparently confused by word critical. Didn't expect such vocabulary. "From simple cleaning lady. You're definitely not same Autumn. I saw 2 days ago." Light grins at his confusion. "Guess I'm not much different from escorts." "Nothing like them," he protests. "You have lively look. Don't look like mannequin. That haircut suits you. Must be Jason's work." "Yeah, and thank you for unlimited card." "I'm afraid not." Autumn shakes head. "It'll only take an hour. Other banquet starts at 4 p.m. Promise by 6 p.m. tonight. My driver will take you anywhere you want. Help me out, girl. I'll just introduce you to father. Talk to him 20 minutes. Then you get lost in crowd, quietly disappear." Autumn gives thoughtful look. "Yes. What am I going to talk to him about?" "Look confused and seem completely foolish." Says this after significant pause. Wesley blushes slightly. Apparently sensing his discomfort, blushes even more. Turns away to window. Lights cigarette. So that's it, flashes through Autumn's mind. He wanted fool all along. But why? Just wants to mock his father? Trying to convince him he'd marry shallow girl. Revelation hits her unexpectedly. Everything falling into place. Tying up in one unpleasant knot. Returning to old sore spots. Wesley must have advertised vacancy, specifically to find such simpleton. But there's a lot about her he doesn't know. She'll make sure to demonstrate tomorrow. To his father and any guests present. Then she'll tell him what she thinks. While she stays silent, Autumn contemplates to herself. When she exits limousine with Wesley, at Harrison Wellington's estate, all invited guests slowly moving in. Surprised she isn't nervous at all. Not like first day rushing to job interview. In ridiculous business suit. At Manhattan Towers. Because that felt real back then. This time she's just extra. going to end her performance. Whether appearing as fool to Harrison, like Wesley planned, or bringing out his best qualities. Nothing else decisive importance. Most important thing is, she's not victim in this play, but only character free to improvise. Not bound by pre-written script, can adapt quickly to circumstances. 18 years taught her those skills. She's learned lessons perfectly. Autumn looks stunning tonight, knows it with certainty. Looking at Wesley beside her, he seems increasingly uncertain about outcome of his scheme. Entire car ride he stays silent, keeps drinking water from small bottles, holding back from smoking. He's nervous one this time. Autumn tries not to show superiority, occasionally glances at new iPhone, purchased with Magic Card during lunch, pretends to write messages. Not many guests at mansion. 5 smiling Americans. Few middle-aged couples. Group of young men. Only 2 brought girlfriends. Harrison Wellington stands out. Most solid and gallant of all. Evening's bride with worried Wesley. Waiters glide through halls. Trays laden with fancy appetizers. Champagne glasses sparkling. Try being inconspicuous. Still stand out with austere suits. Imposing builds. Lovely Persian cat, most graceful creature. Tiny bell around neck. Hurries to meet everyone. Tangles under Autumn's feet. She crouches down to pet it. The cat immediately attaches itself. Now follows her everywhere. When initial bustle subsides, Wesley first presents Autumn to father. They pretend not knowing each other. Exchange few appropriate compliments. Harrison expresses undoubted pleasure. Flashes perfectly whitened teeth. Winks cheerfully at genuine smile. Wesley introduces companion to couple friends. Somehow slips away into crowd. Good thing Autumn left to herself. Only cat keeps her company. Party gradually gains momentum. Wesley constantly smoking. Uses special designated area. Keeps coming back to hall. Looks for Autumn with his eyes. Amazed she's not lost among guests. On contrary, talking to more and more people. Gathering grateful listeners around her. Everyone drawn to her naturally. All becoming center of attraction. Wesley can't stand it anymore. Comes closer to hear her stories. Witnesses tale that captures everyone. You're like Firefly at this party, says Caroline, girlfriend of Wesley's friend Peter. So happy our Wesley finally found proper match. You're exaggerating. Autumn smiles modestly. Everyone's Firefly in their own way. Though honestly, comparing to that creature, works 2 ways. Here's Wesley himself, Maya exclaims. Another girl noticing him approach. Why did you abandon your girlfriend? Lot of young lions around. Better watch out. Wesley sinking deeper into confusion. Complete misunderstanding of situation. Who is this simple girl from orphanage? How can she charm etiquette-conscious people? In mere 5 minutes? Feels like whole room gravitating toward Autumn. About to pull her to corner. Ask bunch of questions. Harrison beats him to it. Elegantly escorts girl away. Wesley goes out to smoke again. Stays alone this time. Continues watching unthinkable plot unfold. Party goes longer than anticipated. Wesley can't find his place. Feels distracted, unhappy, dissatisfied with himself. Incomprehensibly answering friends' questions. Looks completely worn out. Tired of everything. Soon stops paying attention altogether. Finally, Autumn takes matter in hand. Grabs his arm. Leads him to lobby. No other people there. Just them. Are you satisfied? She asks. Defiant look in eyes. Or was I not sufficiently stupid? Like you wanted? I don't understand what this was about. Wesley looks like delinquent teenager. So what went wrong? Autumn persists. Maybe my vocabulary confuses you. Too sophisticated for janitor. Don't worry. I have many more interesting stories. Many enlightening conversations to share. I'm sorry if I disappointed you. Opens her purse. Takes out personalized card. Hope this concludes my mission. Not end of my life. Don't worry about wedding. Don't need wedding either. I'll take taxi home. Just need to get stuff from room first. Find another cleaning lady. If you still need one, please give my sincere regards to Harrison. Apologize for leaving without goodbye. He's good man. Only person I'm truly sorry to part with. While Autumn hurries downstairs, Persian cat following. Bell tinkling, she crouches to pet it once more. Not your fault either, baby. You were nice too. Was pleasant doing business with you. Smiles one last time. Casts another glance at bewildered Wesley. Walks out into warm June evening. Satisfied with successful finale, Wesley lowers eyes. Stares bewildered at black card. Autumn Rivers written in gold letters. Cannot process what just happened. Only 3 days since party. Feels like different lifetime to Autumn. Felt victorious briefly. Now back in squalid communal apartment. Threw off unfamiliar warrior armor. Turned back into girl who still needs protection and sincere love. Something she's proven to everyone now. Better to forget. Sink into routine of affairs. Again has nothing truly hers. Not apartment. Not occupation. Not significant other. Not goals. Not single key to locked doors. Nothing she hasn't been through before. Now must load herself with something. something on edge of unbearable. Maybe return to warehouses or auto repair shop. Once spent 6 months in garage, taking apart engines, putting them back together until tire fell on her, broke her collarbone, grins involuntarily at memory. Woman from child services visited hospital, transferred her to familiar orphanage, didn't even let her say goodbye to guardians. At this moment, door opens. Neighbor with criminal record appears. Autumn already used to locking doors. Man might take that as unmistakable hint. Hi, he says with cocky smirk, unshaven face leering. See, you've gotten prettier. While away from us, about to step forward. Doorbell rings unexpectedly. Who else coming to bother us? I'm busy, he growls. Goes to answer door. Autumn hears polite bass voice. Some inarticulate aggressive objections from neighbor. Then thud of body hitting floor. Soft knock on her door. Autumn, are you here? Unknown bass voice asks. Yes, alert girl responds. What do you want? Who are you? I apologize for unexpected intrusion. But Harrison Wellington waits in car downstairs. If you could get dressed and come down, he has some questions. Won't take long, I assure you. Communication poses no threat. He asked me emphasize that your neighbor, I see, much more dangerous than proper company. Autumn doesn't really have choice. Staying here with unconscious neighbor, least desirable option. Dresses quickly, runs outside, grabs just purse and phone. Bass owner turns out to be bulky man. Around 35, smiling sweetly, opens door of black limousine, gestures for Autumn to enter. Harrison waiting in back seat, calm and peaceful. Good afternoon, dear Autumn, says apologetically. Sorry about running around. Called you, but apparently different number. Hi, yes. Changed my SIM card. Something you wanted to discuss? Actually wanted to make offer. No, not like that. Although, to be honest, you'd be honored. In this case, want to offer position at my company. Don't refuse right away, please. Learned enough about you lately. Sure you need work, need attention in general. From people who couldn't appreciate you, that's how surprised I was. Part of my job to make inquiries. After Wesley's ridiculous idea, learned after our shower encounter, calculated his intentions, wondered like you how he'd escape unscripted situation developing. Sorry to see him at party. But you, Autumn, you shone brilliantly. Many still asking where you disappeared. If Wesley suddenly lost mind, turning down your company and heart, won't hide it. You've conquered this old man too. You've got iron character. Remind me of my late wife, Eleanor. She made me successful man. Taught me how to understand people. Just between us, Autumn. No one realizes true creator of my business was her. She was a remarkable woman. Thought they didn't exist anymore until I met and got to know you. Sorry for many compliments. However, allowing myself today not to hold back thoughts. Need to show you something. Just need to go somewhere. Michael can drive if you agree. Won't mind at all. Harrison looks questioningly at Autumn. She shrugs shoulders quietly. Says, let's go. Limousine starts moving. Heads toward highway. Only sorry, Harrison continues, that my son's so inconsiderate, so short-sighted. Could have simply told me. My doubts about his orientation groundless. Instead created this show. Didn't even look at you properly. Such treasure is rare. Real shame. But on other hand, he's not ready yet. Not ready to possess such treasure. Needs to grow up. Don't get me wrong. He's a very kind boy. Just passionate about his ideas. Doesn't notice people behind them. Can't change plans in time. Eleanor unfortunately didn't have time to do much parenting. I was always busy. Occupied with business. About 20 minutes later, limo stops at turnoff Riverside Drive. Row of townhouses, arranged in even formation. A long alleyway. Here's your new home, Autumn. Harrison gestures toward one house. Objections not accepted. Even if refused to work with firm. This house yours by deed. Can do whatever you want with it. Not making this up like Wesley. Not some staff perk. This my humble gift to you. Token of appreciation? Apology for what you've been through. Being victim of son's scheme. Believe me, means nothing to me, but you need it. Need to get rid of neighborhood. Of not quite decent people. Autumn only blinks large green eyes. Doesn't know what to say. Realizes no point contradicting Harrison. Makes no sense to resist. Doesn't want to appear ungrateful. Instead responds naturally. As if known Harrison forever. Everything falling into place. Last puzzle piece clicking. True meaning of chain revealed. Life woven for 18 years. This man exactly what she needed. Father figure she lacked. Perfect match for fragile girl. With strong character intact. 3 months passed since that drive. Down Riverside Drive in limousine. 3 long but happiest months. In Autumn's entire life. September 19th brings 2 good things. Breaking law of good and bad news. First, it's her birthday. Second, she and Wesley celebrate. Modest wedding. Only closest friends attend. 2 years later, Harrison passes away quietly. Peacefully, happy smile on face. Huge inheritance in will. Divided equally. Between Autumn and Wesley. Wesley finally grows up. Just in time, learns to control corporate monster. One that terrified him since childhood. Autumn, busy establishing large orphanage. Takes sincere part in children's fates. Tries her absolute best to give them decent future. Life comes full circle. Story finds perfect ending. Everyone gets what they truly needed. Family found, love discovered, purpose fulfilled.